Hello, Bethany. I hope you're feeling blessed today as you're listening to this video. I hope that God is blessing you and He's teaching you about Himself, His purposes, and His ways. I wanted to encourage you to be on the lookout for a letter that we are sending. That letter is explaining that we are going to have a worship service this coming Sunday outside, 10 o'clock, May 24th. And some of you may not feel comfortable coming. But, and if you don't, that's okay. We're still going to plan on posting our sermon in video form like we have been. But for those of you who do feel comfortable, we want you to come on. And the letter explains the details about how we're trying to observe different protocols related to the COVID-19 virus. So you please be on the lookout for that letter. If you feel comfortable coming, come on, 10 o'clock, Sunday morning worship. Bring your own chairs. Be on the lookout for that letter. Now we've got a holiday weekend coming up, right? That's what I want to talk to you about during this midweek devotion. Memorial Day is a day of remembering men and women who have died while serving in our armed forces. And it's also a time to be appreciative of those who are still living. And so if you're listening to this video and you've served in the armed forces or in our as a first responder or maybe in law enforcement, we want to say thank you. Thank you for what you have done, perhaps what you are doing now. And it's a day that, a holiday that originated after the Civil War. It was to commemorate fallen soldiers from both the North and the South. So that's how it originated. These days, it's typical for people to think of those who have given their lives in military service, but also to remember friends and family in general who have passed away. We remember or memorialize our loved ones. I remember my mom used to go to the cemetery and just check on the gravesite, reflect on her parents and other loved ones, especially during Memorial Day weekend or on Memorial Day. She would go at other times during the year, but especially during that holiday time, she was mindful to go and pay her respects and just remember her loved ones. Now, as followers of Jesus Christ, we have an opportunity to celebrate this day and this weekend by also remembering the men and women of faith who have had an impact on us personally, on His church, on His kingdom. The writer of Hebrews did this in chapter 11, that great chapter of the heroes of the faith. It describes the faith of the ancients. This word refers to the earlier fathers of the faith or to ancestors. So I would ask you to consider, who are your spiritual ancestors who have helped you in your walk with Christ, who have helped to bring you along, to nurture you in your faith in Jesus. For Christians, this weekend can provide an appropriate time to thank God for those in the army of Christ who fought the good fight, who finished the race, who kept the faith. It was not by accident that God has placed these people in your life and my life. He knew perfectly how to orchestrate things so that you and I would respond to His love and offer of salvation. Memorial Day weekend can also be an opportune time to contact those, if they're still living, who have been examples to you in following Jesus, and simply to thank them. Thank them for being a father, mother, sister, brother in the faith for you. The writer of Hebrews not only remembered those faithful ancients, but he recorded many of their names as a reminder to his readers and to us. And we can follow this example by telling our children, grandchildren, those close to us, about the names of those that were examples of dedication to Christ. We can memorialize the heroes of our faith by telling someone about what those heroes meant, who they were. And we can celebrate the life that they are currently living. Even if they have passed on, we're celebrating the life that they're currently living with Jesus. What do I mean? Well, the writer of Hebrews said this about his heroes in the middle of that chapter in Hebrews 11:16. But they now desire a better place, a heavenly one. Therefore, God is not ashamed to be called their God, for He has prepared a city for them. Isn't that great? Good news for you, for me, if we have faith in Jesus Christ. Good news for our heroes in the faith. So I hope that we will celebrate Memorial Day weekend by remembering those who sacrificed for our freedom, and also remembering those who invested in our spiritual freedom. And then let us do one more thing. Let us recall the one who made the supreme sacrifice to change us from being objects of wrath to objects of his favor. That's Jesus Christ. Let's remember our Lord, maybe through the description of Jonathan Edwards, that amazing preacher of the Great Awakening in the 1730s. These are his words. Maybe they can help you to memorialize and think about Jesus Christ. In Jesus Christ, meet infinite highness and infinite condescension, infinite justice and infinite grace, infinite glory and lowest humility, infinite majesty and transcendent meekness, deepest reverence toward God and equality with God, worthiness of good, and the greatest patience under the suffering of evil, a great spirit of obedience and supreme dominion over heaven and earth, absolute sovereignty and perfect resignation, self-sufficiency and an entire trust and reliance on God. What a great description of Jesus Christ. To him be glory forever and ever. I hope you have a great and blessed weekend.